This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com. It's Family Day here in Ottawa, Canada. It's a holiday here today. And WWE is actually recording Raw tonight in Ottawa. There was some rumors floating around that Cena might appear to start his feud with Austin Theory for WrestleMania, but apparently WWE has announced that he's officially making his return to Raw March 6th. Whether Logan Paul will appear or not, anything's possible. He's supposed to be wrestling Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, and he was only an hour and a half away a couple days ago in Montreal for Elimination Chamber, so it could be possible. The main event they're saying is going to be Cena against Austin, or not Cena, sorry, Edge against Austin Theory, and Slam Wrestling, a Canadian website that I know has done a lot of interviews with Trish Stratus in the past, is reporting that Trish Stratus is going to be at Raw. Toronto is only 4 hours away from here, and supposedly she was supposed to be at the Raw in Brooklyn recently, but they ended up canceling her. So I could see that happening. AEW has pulled John Moxley from a big independent show in Ireland, March 12th, because it's the same day as their first house show that they're doing in a long time in Ohio. They did do one other house show that did not draw very well at all, with a much more stacked card. However, this house show is only going to be in about a 2,000 seat building. And by the way, they're replacing Moxley in Ireland with Eddie Kingston, who, by the way, there's a couple Eddie Kingston videos on the Hannibal TV. If you search the Hannibal TV Eddie Kingston. But to me, I still don't get why they're doing house shows when their TV tapings in AEW are way too long. Very rarely do they tape Rampage separately from Dynamite. So people have to sit through the Dark tapings, Dynamite tapings, Rampage tapings, and sometimes Elevation tapings. It's too much for like your average fan. For the smart marks, yes, they'll be coming in their pants through 5 or 6 hours of tapings. But for like your average fan, or often, like, it's not uncommon for them to give away 1,000 tickets to a TV taping, at least 500 to 1,000 tickets, it seems, from the reports I read. So someone gets a free ticket who's not that interested in wrestling, then has to sit through 5+ hours of tapings. That's not going to make them want to come back. So what I would do instead of house shows is just start doing more Rampage tapings separately, rather than have to put all that effort into promotion and flying everyone in for a house show. It's going to be hard to draw. Hello, Grandma Daisy. Piper says hello to you too, but she's sleeping right now. I'll wake her up to say hello. But Tom, no, I'm going to the gym in about an hour here. But yeah, Brock Lesnar, they're saying he's going to be suspended due to his actions in Montreal. So I wouldn't expect him to be on the Ottawa show either, even though it'll be a kayfabe suspension. If he is on, it would be to suspend him, but I can't see them paying him the money that they have to pay Lesnar just to do a suspension thing when they could probably do it with Heyman. Yes, animals are the best, and Piper's really tough. I mean, she had a rough time recently, but she's fully recovered. Jay White from New Japan, who lost to Loser Leaves New Japan match on the weekend, is supposed to be appearing in WWE soon. For the few people that pay attention to New Japan. By the way, there's also supposed to be a new AEW show starting again soon. So, you know what reminds me? I recently listened to Kevin Sullivan's podcast on this channel about the history of WCW Thunder and how much Thunder helped kill WCW. because it was just an oversaturation. It's like, what I don't understand is why doesn't AEW just try and make one or two shows really, really good rather than hire all these people, so many of them sitting at home that they don't even make the TV show because there's no room for them. But like, why not just try and make one or two TV shows really good instead of doing all these extra shows on YouTube? And yeah, now there's supposed to be another show starting soon again. So yeah. No, I'm not going to WrestleMania in Los Angeles. I'm not even going to the show here in Ottawa tonight. So why would I travel to the West Coast? Yes, DJ Holly is totally off the radar. I haven't even heard of him. The last thing I heard him doing is we actually covered was at the Lou Thez George Tragos Hall of Fame in Iowa a few years ago. He wrestled a couple matches that weekend, but he left right after the matches. He didn't even stay for the Hall of Fame ceremony. And I remember asking the promoter for a Bob Holly interview that weekend, and the promoter said, "That's the one guy that I can't get you an interview with." So I can only imagine. We have the only Bob Holly fan on here, by the way. You're seriously the only guy I've ever known to be a Bob Holly fan. There's no doubt he played a role as like a kind of a bully behind the scenes, like JBL for years. For people that WWE didn't like, they tell Bob Holly to rough him up, like I guess they did with Rene Dupree when he beat up Rene Dupree in the ring. That's probably what Bob's most remembered for is being a bully. Leo misses the Blood Hunter. Well, he's not meant for today. He's not meant for today. How can you get a hold of the old WWE TV tapings? They're all on YouTube. There's tons of them on YouTube. Jesse, JBL just treated the new ones like hell that weren't going to necessarily make it. I doubt he bullied Lesnar. He bullied more the weak people. He tried it with Joey Styles, thinking he was weak too, but Styles ended up knocking him out, and that was the last. Well, no, he actually bullied Morrow after that, supposedly. But I'll be honest, I did meet JBL backstage a bunch of times, although I was never competition to him because I was just an extra. But he was always nice to me. And he has quoted my interviews various times and credited me. So I appreciate it. Someone says I look like Tyson Theory. I actually do get that a lot. Some random person came up to me in a mall a few weeks ago and said, "You look exactly like Tyson Theory." Well, I wish I was tired. Young Macho Man. I don't really know Jacob Fatu. Met him maybe a handful of times, did an interview with him. I don't know much about him. Somebody, have I seen SCSA? No, I have not. Tom, no, I will not be at Raw tonight. I'll be with Piper. Luther would rather watch Bob Holly than AEW. Me too. Someone says the clothesline from Hell was brutal. Yes, Bob had a good clothesline. Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury next Sunday. Yes, that's coming up. That will be Jake Paul's toughest challenge. I'd like to know how much they're making. I think that one's in Saudi Arabia. Yes, Maurice. This is the Maurice from Cheap Heat Productions saying Tony Khan fucked over OTT in Ireland. Oh, wow. I guess they had John Moxley booked before the pandemic even. Yeah, I like Eddie Kingston, and I've met Eddie Kingston too, and I was surprised. Like he had watched this channel and was aware of me and stuff. So I have nothing against Eddie Kingston, but Moxley is a different type of draw than Eddie Kingston. Bring Piper to Raw. No, it doesn't seem like a very good Raw, to be honest. I like Edge, but I don't really have any interest in Edge against Austin Theory. Bill, there is going to be an Ahmed Johnson interview on this channel. There is going to be an Ahmed Johnson interview on this channel in March. I can tell you that. I've not met Steve Austin, but I did talk to him on the phone once for about half an hour in January 2019. That was quite a shock. Quite a shock indeed. He had mentioned my match with Al Snow on one of his podcasts, and I think he actually mentioned me in 3 of his podcasts: the Al Snow one, the Duke the Dumpster Drosy one, which I hooked him up with, and the Tom Pritchard one. But yeah, I'm a fan of his, but I try not to bother him. Anyways, have a great day.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news